The Chinese gaming giant Tencent is now controlling 3 of the most popular games for PC and some of the most profitable games for mobile phones. And thanks to its acquisitions, it is now also affecting the Western market and is now the 5th most valuable brand in the world. Tencent. The name is linked with superlatives that may completely baffle those who aren't knowledgeable about the gaming industry. 3 of the most popular games for PC, including the biggest esports like League of Legends, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and in China, it even distributes Fortnite. Dozens of most successful titles for mobile are also connected with Tencent, including games from Supercell like Clash of Clans or Clash Royale. This Chinese holding with its almost 600 billion value is the 5th most valuable brand in the world. Said in another way, if you're a gamer, there is a good chance you've been involved with Tencent even if you had no idea about it. And it also shows on their revenue, as the revenue reached over 18.1 billion US dollars for the year 2017 alone. Compare that to Sony with $10.5 billion. That's almost double. Or the 8 billion that Apple makes on games, 7 billion for Microsoft, and 6.5 billion for Activision Blizzard. The vast majority of Tencent's gaming revenue comes from its home country, China. That is in no small part because Tencent has a big share on the market of bringing Western games to the Chinese market. As Western companies aren't permitted to freely do business on the Chinese market, they need to find a Chinese partner. And working with Tencent or NetEasy is the easiest way to get to the huge and lucrative Chinese market. And as stated previously, some of the games it does distribute on the Chinese market include the global phenomena Fortnite, PUBG, or even FIFA from EA. But don't be mistaken, Tencent also has an interest in the Western market. Thanks to its acquisitions, it owns studios like Riot Games with their League of Legends, or a majority share in Supercells, the creators of big mobile hits like Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. They even invested in Epic Games, buying a minority stake so they not only own PUBG in China, but even a 40% share of the studio behind its only serious competitor. And remember, Epic isn't just a game development studio, they also make the Unreal Engine that is used in many games. Let's now take a moment to look at the history of Tencent. Tencent was founded in the year 1998 by Mao Huateng, who before founding Tencent worked in China Motion Telecom development. During Tencent's first year, the company developed an alternative to those days popular communication app, ICQ and AIM. That was known as QQ. QQ got pretty popular in China and that allowed Tencent to grow. The website QQ.com, similar to Yahoo, was created and quickly grew to become one of the largest Chinese websites. After a few short years, in 2004, it entered the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and at that time it also started to venture into the world of gaming. The first games acquired by Tencent were mostly licensed from Chinese or Korean companies, and usually those were pretty simple web games that you played in your browser. A major shift in the company's strategy when it comes to gaming happened in 2008, when Tencent acquired a minority share in Riot Games just shortly after Riot announced League of Legends. This minority stake was later in 2011 enlarged to a majority stake, 93%, and Tencent fully bought Riot Games in December of 2015. As Tencent paid about $240 million for the controlling stake in Riot Games, and Riot reported almost $22 billion in revenue in 2016 alone, this was one of the most profitable investments in the world of gaming, if not the most profitable one. Another profitable acquisition, but with a slower return rate, was the acquisition of a minority stake in Epic Games, the creators of such legendary games as Unreal Tournament, or Gears of War, and the studio behind the massively used gaming engine Unreal Engine. Tencent owns 40% of the shares in Epic Games, and since Epic Games are also the creators of the worldwide phenomenon of Fortnite, Tencent is sure to profit from that as well. And it's not like Tencent is already satisfied with their acquisition needs. Just in the past year, Tencent's acquisitions equal to 40% of all the acquisitions in the gaming industry and took part in 75% of all the acquisitions in the last large acquisition made by Tencent was the New Zealand studio Grind Gear Games, where Tencent acquired an 80% majority stake just 2 years after they started to distribute their popular Diablo clone Path of Exile in China. Interestingly, this gives Tencent a much higher control of the Chinese version of the game that may, thanks to this, include new functions and more aggressive microtransactions. Apart from games, Tencent also has a huge user base with their second communication app, WeChat, which has over 1 billion active users. WeChat is different from other communication platforms because since December of 2017, it includes games within the app. The little mini games attracted over 500 million players since December alone. The most popular game, Tiao Yi Tiao, which roughly translates to jump and jump, is a pretty obvious clone of the 2016 French game Bottle Flip. But we all know that China isn't afraid to copy successful foreign projects. The games in WeChat are available for free and are supported by advertisements. Overall, I think I'd still rate Tencent as a positive force on the gaming market. Just a few short years ago, it was very hard for Western companies to get a foothold on the Chinese market. But the situation has changed very rapidly. The gaming markets have grown much closer. Just take a look at some of the most popular games all around the world. League of Legends, PUBG, Fortnite, they're all popular all around the world, and that is at least partially because of Tencent, who brought them to the Chinese market. And according to a Steam hardware survey, about 30% of its users now have simplified Chinese set as their default language. This suggests that a large portion of them are located in China. The only other country which has more Steam users are the United States. Now, let us just hope that Tencent doesn't decide to become an evil gaming overlord, but will remain a positive force overall on the gaming market in the future as well.